So hello and welcome to this wonderful meeting. And if you're watching the video, then welcome to the Code Me Events YouTube channel. My name is Gabor. I usually help companies use Rust, teaching them or helping them other ways. Same with Python. And I also love to learn other things. And I'm really happy that on this meeting, Orhun agreed to show us Ratatouille. Because I already started to prepare actually a presentation about it when we didn't have a presentation at one of our meetings. But then I figured it would be much better if someone who actually knows what he's doing will tell us about it. So with this, if you're watching the video, please just like the video and follow the channel before I forget. And now it's your turn, Orhun. Please introduce yourself and take over whatever you'd like.
Yep, welcome everybody. And yeah, my name is Orhun, as Gabor said, and I'd like to say thank you for the invite, first of all. It's a great opportunity to have this hands-on pair programming session thing, and I think it's going to be very fun because yeah, we're going to just dive into Ratatouille practically. I'm not going to just show you a presentation and here's this thing, here's that thing, and so on. But yeah, other than that, I am basically maintaining this project. Ratatouille is a Rust library for building terminal user interfaces, and I am just doing open source these days. Actually, not these days, but I should say these years, and trying to make something out of it. Creating some content on the internet. You can also follow me on YouTube. It's Orhun Dev, and yeah, just enjoying Rust and building stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today as well. So yeah, feel free to use the chat and ask questions. If me or Gabor catches a question, we can just answer it on the fly. I think that's a good interactive way of moving forward with this session. So just feel free. And I'd like to first of all show you what Ratatouille is and what we are planning to build today together. So I will try to share my screen. If my Linux setup, Arch Linux, by the way, um, allows me to do so, because anything can crash at this point because of Zoom. But I'm guessing you can see my screen now, right?
Yeah, we can see some Firefox.
Yeah, okay, great. And you see docs.rs, I hope, right? Everything is fine.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So Ratatouille is like I said, it's a TUI library. TUI stands for Terminal User Interface. So we're basically building these interfaces in the terminal using this library. Um, it, I don't want to get into the concepts and everything right now because actually we're gonna just code something together, and while we're doing that with Gabor, I'm just gonna talk over it. But the idea is to let me actually run some demos to show it to you. Oh, I gotta go to examples, apps, demo. Let's run this one. Well, let me actually run this one. So yeah, as you can see, I'm in the terminal and I'm just running one of the demos, and I'm gonna just talk about what we can build with Ratatouille very shortly, and then I'm gonna show it to you what we're gonna build today. So basically, we can have these tabs, widgets, and these charts, sparkline, gauges, lists, chart, I don't know, text, colored stuff, map, and so on. So you can just build these type of colored dashboard-like interfaces using Ratatouille. And also we have other stuff in here as well. So if you're interested, just go to Ratatouille, like github.com, Ratatouille/Ratatouille, and you will have some examples. The best way of getting started is to just go to ratatouille.rs, and we have a bunch of tutorials and documentation there. And sorry for the light theme, 1 second. I know that some people are complaining now, even though I don't hear them. Okay, there you go. So yeah, all right. Yep. So today I want to build something simple. We don't have much time. I don't think this session will be 6 hours long. So let's aim for something reasonable. And I have this little program that I prepared for a workshop actually. So I'm gonna show it to you. Cargo run. Yeah, very simple. Some CPU stats, some disk stats, memory, network, and some processes. So this is like a very simple HTOP-like program built with Ratatouille. We're not using any like other third-party widgets here, just the stock widgets, and everything is just styled, being colored and rendered using Ratatouille. And this table is interactive and so on. So I think this is a good thing to just demonstrate how to use the widgets, how to structure your app, and how to handle events and so on. Because when you start building Ratatouille applications, one of the most commonly asked questions is how do you structure your Rust application? Because we don't provide you a like a boilerplate, so to speak. We don't like Ratatouille is like kind of um, like you can basically like structure your application like you want. We don't like say that you should like put your logic here, your um, your like modules should be like this and so on. And we don't like provide a and for example a stateful approach. So let me give you an example actually. So there are like third-party libraries that you can use for using, for example, Elm architecture, like React, like an architecture, but we don't do that in Ratatouille. So there isn't a something like, you know, you have the widgets, you have their states, you kind of like get some kind of callbacks from them and so on. There isn't such thing. So you have to kind of find your architecture that suits your use case best and kind of stick to it. So I think this is a good way of starting out. So this is let's just try to build this. I'm gonna like we're gonna start from the zero, ground zero. So I'll try to like guide you through everything here, and I think it's gonna be fun. So let's just do it, Gabor. What do you say? Let's just build it together.
Yeah, and I was moving my computer, so my microphone got disconnected for a second more.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully now it's working.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. It's it's somehow it has some connection issues with the USB. Anyway, okay. So shall I share my screen now and
Yep.
show you that? Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I am on terminal. I'm a white person or whatever it's called. Yeah, little less
All
light.
right.
Okay, so white background now, not black background. Yeah.
Okay. So let's create a repo first of all.
Just an empty
Or
repo?
okay, let's actually use the templates that we provide. So do you have cargo generate installed?
Uh, this one?
Yeah. So for
No.
context, cargo generate is a tool that allows you to initialize a repository with some predefined code. We can use this tool to pull some source from a repo on GitHub and just initialize a project really quickly. Wait, I'm gonna send a link to the chat in case people are not familiar with the tool. Let's do that. Cargo generate. There you go. So in order to initialize a Ratatouille app, you need to run cargo generate Ratatouille slash templates.
Flash.
Yeah, slash templates. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna send
Oh,
the
so I can't type that fast as you do. So okay,
no
template.
problem.
That's it.
There you go. Yep. All right. So cargo generate asks you which one you want to use here. And let's go with simple. We don't need async now. We don't need a component architecture. Hello world is too simple for this. So let's go with simple. Yeah. Project name, I would go for ratatop, because like, htop, but ratatop kind of
Like this,
sounds fun
or
name.
lowercase,
Yeah,
or
that's fine. Yeah, just something random. We can use something else too here. So there you go.
okay.
All right, so it created a repository for us. If you go into the ratatop and open up your editor, or like kind of, yeah, you can
Yeah.
see the file tree here. It's like a very simple um, application, just the source, app, and main files. We don't see our editor right now, but
No. It opened in the other window,
okay,
another
okay,
screen. So I waited till you were finishing to open.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
So let's go over the files.
okay. Let's go over the files. You say?
Yeah, yeah. So in main rs, let's go to the main rs. In case you don't know, this is like the entry point of your app, and here we are initializing your terminal for you so that you can just start coding your application. What we're doing here is actually, let me just go over the lines. On line 6, we are installing a error handler method. This is for also panic handling. You don't need to know the details, but color error or color error, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a library that helps with handling those type of errors, so that we don't like need to define our own error type and so on. So that's what we're doing there. And then we are creating a terminal with the Ratatouille init call on line 7. This is our this is like the main thing that we need when it comes to building user interfaces. We're gonna just use this terminal struct to render the application, and like render like kind of don't need it for event handling, but we need that for basically your widgets and so on. And then we run the app. I'm gonna talk about app in a second. And we after we run the app, we get a result from the whole application, and then restore the terminal on line 9. If you don't restore it, it's basically something like, you have a terminal user interface, you basically go to a new screen, and then you got to come back to your original terminal. That's why we need to restore it. We don't if you don't restore it, you kind of like get stuck in that alternate screen, and you're gonna get like corrupted terminal output. So you need to do terminal init, Ratatouille init and Ratatouille restore when we use when we are building TUI apps with Ratatouille. And then lastly, we just return the result from main. So our app is the struct that holds our application state. We can go to app.rs now. Okay, so you can see on line 11, we have our struct, and that's basically like where our state is. And we have one boolean that's just running, which designates if you're still running the application or not. If this is false, we're gonna quit the application. And in the impl block, we just create a new app with the running state false. If you scroll down a bit, we have the run function, which is being called from the main. And this is basically creating a loop for us. And in this loop, we are rendering some frames and handling the events. The Ratatouille is a immediate mode rendering library, which means you gotta redraw your whole UI for each frame. It's not like, you kind of draw everything once and update it. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's just like kind of the opposite. So in this loop, while the self-running is true, while the application is still running, we are uh, drawing some frames. This is being handled in the draw function. And also we are handling some cross-term events. Cross-term is the backend that we are using in Ratatouille. You can use different backends, but um, cross-term is like a cross-platform backend, so we're just using cross-term there. So in this loop, we are doing two things: drawing the frames and also handling events. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see the draw function. So in the draw function, you are rendering your user interface. So this is where we're gonna actually do most of the work for this app. And right now, it's just rendering some text, and that's basically it. We're gonna run this in a second. You'll see it. Scroll down a bit. You'll see the event handling function, handle cross-term events. Here we are calling event read, and this is a cross-term function. This is giving us some key events, mouse events, or some resize events, or anything else. And for the key events, we are just matching on this return value, like I think it's enum. So we are matching on this enum and calling on key event. And on key event function is just checking the keys. If it is Q or Control C, we just call self quit. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see that the self quit function is basically setting running to false. That's it. So that's very simple. If you can run this
And
in
then,
a terminal.
this will turn off, right? Yeah. So how do
Yep.
you run? Do you run it inside in a terminal like this, or do
Yep.
you usually to regular terminal?
I think for now you can run it in the integrated terminal there. Yes.
Okay, because it's like smaller, and I don't know how well do the terminals sync.
Yeah. So it's resizing based on your layouts and so on. And I'm going to talk about it in a second, but that's what you're going to get when you run this. Basically, some text, and when you press Q, it will just exit.
Yeah.
So that's way you can just use cargo generate to quickly start your own TUI application. So okay, that was the first chapter in my mind. All right.
So
So
wait,
any sorry,
get
you can commit it. Yes.
okay.
All right. So let's let's move on and create some layouts because yeah, can you send a repo now? Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll set up a
Yep.
repo because I don't have a repo yet, and it's
Yep.
what is it called? Ah,
Just create a
ratatop.
just ratatop or something. I don't know. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask ask it in the chat. I'm here to answer.
Okay. I put the link to the repo in the chat.
All right, perfect.
And
So
it's on the video as well. So just those people who are watching the video. Okay. If you find it there.
all right, so let's create some layouts for our app because if you remember what I showed you, we have like different blocks. I'm just hearing myself for some reason. Test, test, test. Is anybody? Wait.
I can hear you well, but sometimes
Yeah.
it
Okay.
you're
Now it's gone. Okay.
echo.
Yeah, I added a little bit of echo, but now it's gone. So let's create some layouts. If you remember the app that I showed you, we have the CPU, memory, and
Right.
network, and so on. So to do that, you can actually delete. Let's not actually delete it, but you can keep the title, but delete the rest. We don't need the rest for now.
So the text and the frame, I can, or
Yeah,
this.
just remove those. Uh, Actually, remove title too. We don't. Let's start from scratch. Remove title too.
Okay.
So to kind of split your area into different parts and build like render different blocks, you need to define some layouts. For that, you can basically call the layout functions. So if you just start typing, I'll try to guide you a
What
little bit.
layout
So
something?
no, yeah, just let layout, yeah, exactly, and layout, just the struct, and we want to like create a vertical layout. We want to split vertically, so 2 colons and vertical.
Okay.
And in the constraints, so this is how you are basically splitting your layout, your area. For constraints, you need to create a vector. No, not a vector, but like use brackets.
Like this one, curlies or square
No,
brackets?
no, not curly. The other brackets. And in these
Oh.
constraints thing,
Copilot is writing writing our code,
yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy. You gotta like define your constraints. So let's do something like constraint percentage. Constraint is a struct.
So writing in
So
constraints.
no, just the uppercase, like no, just constraint. Yeah, constraint and 2 colon. Sorry, it's not a struct. It's a enum. Yeah, exactly. And percentage. Let's give it like I don't know, 25 percentage. It's a yeah, 25%.
Here I type in 25,
Yep. And then just
25, or so do I
just
have to
20.
fill 100 there or just
No, it's a single constraint. So you just have a 25 for this one, and you need to define another one. So this is
okay,
just 25, and put like a comma after this first constraint and define another one constraint. Let's do fill this time, not percentage.
fill?
Yeah, fill, just filling
Is it
the rest of the
string
area.
or it's a string or a word or what is it?
It's the enum variant. So instead of percentage,
So I
you
need
just
to
gotta say fill.
constraint
No,
fill.
not like that, but um, you kind of just remove one of the percentages.
Oh, so instead of this, okay, I understand. So
Yeah,
here,
yep, yep.
okay,
Fill,
still do something there.
and in there you can just say 1 and add another fill. So constraint fill, another comma after that, and another 1. I will explain this in a second.
Okay,
So right now we are splitting our current area vertically into 3 parts because we had, if you remember, we have the CPU, disk, and then network. This is not gonna, yeah. And then percentage means 25% of the available area, and fill means fill the rest. And when you have like 2 fill constraints, it's just gonna take the rest, split it into 2 parts, and create 2 separate areas. So if you check the return value of this, this is a layout, right? You
mhm.
need to give your area to this. So after you define your layout, if you go to the end of this definition to line 43, you can say dot areas, and basically frame dot area. So remove that. The frame is already defined. It's a parameter to this function.
Oh, so it's the parameter frame. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
frame, and it has something here, area.
Yeah,
Okay,
frame area, exactly.
okay. Now it didn't like me.
Yeah, because this is returning a think it's a, wait, let me check. What is this
Type
returning?
notation.
Yeah, so you kind of need to use brackets there for the return values. So you can say something like, I'm just going to type it in the chat. Third. You can say something like this instead of layout. And that way you will be defining three layouts.
Okay. Okay, I don't have better idea than what you typed. Okay, so we can rename it later. We can rename them later.
Yeah.
There was a question
Yeah.
whether Ratatouille works in older terminals. How?
Yes. Yes, it is working in older terminals. I'm not sure about Windows though. I haven't tested it, and we don't have anybody testing Windows in our team. So not sure, but yeah, definitely works in older terminals.
We always
Um,
want more people on Windows testing stuff because that's always
yeah.
uh,
Yep. So
weak area. Yeah.
so we have three layouts, three areas or rectangles, rects, right? So let's just render something
And
on each
they're like
one.
vertically, so 3 columns,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Three rows, I think. No, three
3 rows.
columns. Wait, is it column? It's like, one and the second one on the bottom and the third one on the like on the
Okay.
bottom as well. So yeah, let's do frame dot render widget.
Sorry?
Let's do frame dot render widget. Frame is the parameter frame.
Oh, the variable frame, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Render widget, and in the widget you can use any widget that implements the widget trait. So let's just render a block. So block bordered two columns there.
Okay.
Bordered, yep. And for the area, just put first.
Okay. So that's an area. Okay.
Yeah. And just copy that line and do it 3 times and just change the area.
Okay.
All right. So let's run it and see how it looks like.
Okay. It didn't like something, but okay. So these horizontal blocks. Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
we're basically gonna fill those blocks with some widgets, and yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. Complaining about parentheses, but okay.
Yeah, that's fine for now. All right. If you want, you can also split horizontally. And like, for example, you can split the second area horizontally to have two blocks next to each other. But I guess you get the idea. You basically need to do the same thing again, but with layouts horizontal. So yeah.
Okay. So let's try to do this. So I
Yep.
create the, let's say, the upper and the lower thing, and I say it's a layout horizontal. It already wrote me the constraints
Yep.
percentage. I could have written here, I guess, fill, but
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
as this, I mean, I can calculate up to 100, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And the areas, and here it put it in the second because it heard you, I guess.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why. And it won't do anything for now because you're not rendering.
Okay.
You need to render the upper and lower.
So I still have, and when do I render? It doesn't matter if I.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You kind of need to remove the. No, it's the same like frame render widget, but for the areas,
Okay.
just change it.
But here I tell it to render the upper.
Exactly.
Okay. And why do I need to write so much? I mean, why don't just render everything?
Yeah, because there's like different ways of rendering it.
Okay, so we have the
Since you're also rendering the second area, you kind of like rendering on top of each other. You need to remove line 54.
because why
You
do I need
first
to?
you first rendering. By the way, it's not upper lower, but should be left and right, I think. But you're kind of rendering two widgets, and also then you're rendering on top of those again. So the borders just overriding each other, so it looks like that.
So let me see this, okay?
Yeah.
So if I run this now, I get something, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if I remove this one, you say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There was a line here, right? It is connected. That's the difference. That
Yeah.
now these are two separate square rectangles, and earlier, if I'm not mistaken, it had, yeah, okay, so it was connected, and then the separator was somehow, it had some spaces. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because you're rendering an area on top of another area, and they both have borders. So yeah, that's why.
Okay.
Um,
Wait a second.
yeah.
Okay. Someone is asking about hot reload.
You can use cargo watch for hot reloading. There's one parameter that you need to use though. It's called. Wait. Let me just actually send it to the chat. Yep, this command. If you run this, if you have cargo watch installed, it will reload when you save the code.
Okay. Where is the border now to make it? Okay, let's see. Now I just have so little real estate now. Yeah. Well,
Oh, you need to also like clear it. So you're gonna just do dash dash clear, because you need to clear the logs from the screen. Sorry,
dash dash
clear.
clear here.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well,
It's not perfect. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay. No, I because of the long, well, sort of. Okay. Okay. Whatever. We'll
Yeah.
keep it. I added as a comment here somewhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll see if it can be used later.
Yeah. So
I mean,
let's. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was thinking if I put it in a separate terminal, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I don't have so much real estate now, so I'm using my notebook screen, so and large letters, large font. So I
Mm-hmm.
will just play around with the terminal, enlarging it and making it smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's show some data. Let's show how much CPU you're using with
Okay.
some chart widget. So there's one crate that can be helpful here. It's not very hard to use, and I think it's the perfect for this job. It's called sysinfo. So run cargo add sysinfo. Yep.
That
Yep, exactly.
I I mean, I have one big issue with reading documentation on Rust, and many times I see examples, I try them, they don't work, and it takes me a long time till I figure out. Sometimes I even have to ask people that I actually need to enable some feature in the crate.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if how other people figure it out faster than I do. Anyway, okay, I added it.
Perfect. So to use this crate, you basically need to go to the documentation, but I already know, so I'm gonna guide you. We need basically a, system struct that allows us to interact with the system, and we're gonna keep that in the application state. So if you scroll up to the app struct, you can add a uh, new entry there called system, and type is going to be system. This is from sysinfo.
Oh, so I need to sysinfo system, right?
Yeah, I think it's sysinfo
Or it
system.
already added sysinfo here. No.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
All right, and to initialize this, because I think default won't work now. I don't know what default is doing. Maybe go to line 21, and instead of calling default, just initialize with the explicit values. So self curly braces. You can just remove that line or just do it.
Sorry?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That looks correct to me. So new all means it's gonna fetch all the information that is available. You can also filter it a bit, like you can say something like new CPU or like memory and so on. But for now, let's just fetch everything. And for rendering something like rendering this widget, we need to have some data, and we need to define this data in the app again. So if you go to the abstract again, let's
Mhm.
do something like CPU data or like CPU.
And
And this is going to be a vector. And let's do a tuple of two floats. So just parentheses F64 and F64. I'll explain this in a second. Yeah. So we're gonna render a chart for the CPU, right? And the chart consists of X axis and Y axis. That's why we have two F64s in there, and we're gonna populate that vector in the loop. So if you scroll down in the run
yeah, we
function,
have to add something here as well
yeah, no,
before,
it's just empty. Let's just start with empty.
like this. Okay.
Yep. So now we're gonna fill that struct with fill that vector with some data. In self-running, after you handle events or before, you can uh, yeah, exactly, just push to that vector, but we're not gonna push that data in there. Instead, we need to push the frame count, and also wait, let me just find it. Give me a second.
Okay. I'm just
Uh,
letting the
all right, the data is system global CPU usage. So that is going to be the second one for the y-axis. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. And the first one will be the frame count. This is for calculating, how we are like how the CPU is changing over time. And frame count is not available in the system, but this is actually available in the frame itself. So you kind of need to remove that, move that line into the draw call, if that makes sense, because frame count is available in the frame.count.
Ah, we
So
need, we are, okay.
you can like do it in the draw call, but let's just actually not do that because draw should be just responsible for drawing stuff. So let's scroll up. Let's do something else. Scroll up. You see the self.draw call, right? That is a closure on
Yeah,
line 35.
okay.
Yeah, you can add like a scope there with curly braces. Exactly. And before you draw it, you can push there. And now you have access to frame. So frame.count should just do it.
Okay.
Is a frame
What is it?
count? Wait.
Why doesn't block like that? Okay. Mismatch type. Okay. That's U size. Expected. It's found the U size. So
Yeah,
this
just
is, they're both
use
U sizes.
as, sorry.
This is the U size.
Yeah, so just convert it to F64 by just
Ah,
doing as
you,
F64.
okay. You prefer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the same for the other data as well. All right. So now we have the CPU data. Scroll down a bit. Let's render what we have. So we're gonna render this in the which area? I think the first, right? We call it the first.
Yeah, we'll see which one is which at the end.
Yeah. So let's render it there. We're gonna use the chart widget for this part. I would suggest you to go to the docs.rs and take like a snippet from there. I need to. Yeah, I guess you need to. Yeah, change the other one too. Yeah.
And
So search for chart. Yep.
okay.
So yep, you can take that one. We can define the data sets later.
And where is this chart from?
It's from Ratatui widgets. You should probably, yeah. So in widgets, exactly.
Okay. And the data set is what is the application CPU?
No, let's define it. We need to define that too. If you go back to the docs again, you'll see that
This is what it
there's.
tells.
I don't think that's gonna work. You need to define the data set. So scroll up. You see that there's let data sets.
Okay.
So just take one of them. This defines two data sets. Yeah, just copy that one. Exactly.
Okay. What happened?
And
Yeah.
formatting, or what happened?
Yeah, no, just yeah, it's okay. And we need only one data set here,
Yeah,
and the data is the vector then, right?
exactly.
So it's is it called
Self
self and CPU, and it wants to clone it. I don't know if you want it or not.
should be fine. You need to close that vector with bracket.
Yeah.
All right.
So where is data set from? It's also a widget.
Yes, if I remember correctly, it should be a widget.
Okay. Okay. So now there are the symbols as well. How can I tell it somehow to add it, to import it, to?
I think there should be a way to do it. Do you use like any Rust LSP, Rust Analyzer, or something like that?
Yeah, it uses it, I think. I mean, that's how it
Um,
tells me that it has an issue.
so there should be some kind of code actions. So
Ah,
quick
it's a
fix.
quick fix. Okay, here's the quick fix. What is the quick fix? Import Ratatouille symbols. Okay, good. And the graph type, quick fix, import Ratatouille widget graph type. Okay. And the style, import style,
Mm-hmm.
not Ratatouille style.
Yep.
Let's see what Ratatouille style. Okay. Oh, there are two styles. And then the clone. So expected reference, and it got a clone. So this clone, oops. Instead of that, we need the reference to it, right? Do I understand it correctly? Yeah, it seems so. Okay.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Should be back now.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
hear me
okay.
fine? Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
You didn't miss much. Just I replaced the vector cloning with an ampersand here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now we need to define the axis values. For those, just go ahead and do something like let x axis equals axis default
Sorry?
axis,
Just
just a
access
struct. Yeah, just a struct name like axis.
like this.
Yep,
That's it.
default, and let's let's set some bounds for this axis. So dot bounds. And this takes two values, or like not two, but array. So use brackets, and we're gonna start from 0.
Like this, right?
Yeah, 0, and exactly not 100, but self CPU data,
Self CPU.
self CPU, and len, just the length of the CPU. Sorry, not data, just len. Yep.
Okay. Okay. What's complaining with touch by F64? Does it make it happy? Yeah. And this one?
Yeah, just
Yes.
convert it to F64 too.
The SF64. No?
Mm-hmm.
I have typed it. Okay. Good. And then the y-axis.
Yeah, just do the same, but it's gonna be 0 and 100.
y-axis, and then here it's going to be 100. I guess it's also f64.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, just run it. Let's see what
Cargo
happens.
FP. Let's clean it up a little bit and cargo run. Hmm.
Well,
Okay.
we didn't render
Yeah.
it. That's why.
You don't use charts. Okay.
So yeah, we gotta render it in.
So we put it in one of them, the
Yeah,
left
instead,
one,
let's do it in the
run
first area.
first one. So I copy this one, like, and then render.
No,
Oh,
you need to
here.
change the block. You can delete that. Change the block bordered widget to just chart. On line 86. Just remove that and just say chart.
And that was the name of the variable that we created.
Yeah. It's down there.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Just let's run it.
Okay, I see
So
these dots. Let me try
um,
it.
so can you try something for me?
Yeah.
Just press any key.
Pressing H, J. Okay. Every time I press, there is a dot, new dot.
Yeah. Can you guess what's happening here, or can anybody guess why
Oh,
is this
the
happening?
frame. That's that. Yeah, re-rendering the frame, right? Every
Yep.
time, I mean, the while loop only yeah, it's waiting for the key input, okay, and then that loop, the while loop that should re-render the new whole frame, gets activated only when I press a key,
Exactly.
right?
So we're gonna change that now.
Okay.
If you go back, it's
You
in
could
the
have just clicked on the Q and then it wouldn't work for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So go to if you can
Wait a
just scroll
second. Wait a
down.
second. Wait a second.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So let's change that. Scroll down. There's this handle cross-term events function,
Yeah.
and if you check the docs for the read call, can you just hover on the read call, event read? Yeah, it says yeah, it's blocking the current thread. So we need to basically like yeah, exactly. Scroll down a bit. There you go. We need to basically do that here, and we need to first poll for new events and then read for events. Because if we call read, it's gonna block. Instead, we need to call poll first, and if it returns a value, we're gonna just read the event. And poll takes a duration, so it waits for 100 milliseconds, for example, in this case.
Okay.
You can tweak that. You can like make it 60 FPS and so on. But let's just keep it simple and just 100 milliseconds here. So before you match, you need to do something like event poll. So
Yeah. So here before that is
before that,
if
just say something like if event poll, Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. And
Just I don't understand. I put the whole match there, no?
exactly. Yep. So now it's not gonna block. It's actually gonna wait for 100 milliseconds for each time. So if you run it,
And why is it all flat?
you're not using much CPU. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's just take a look at what the other thing says.
You can actually render the current value somewhere
I have
to
like
make sure.
a seven load average here.
Okay, let's see. Should probably okay, can I see the code again? What are you
Yeah,
doing in the scroll up a bit?
wait a second, I'll close it.
Scroll up into draw function. A little bit more. Just want to see like
Where we
which
collect the data, it looks like we might not collecting the data correctly, or
I think it's because yeah, okay, I know why it's happening. You need to refresh the system struct. So before you call
right. I read
terminal,
this. Yeah, I used this
yeah,
script once for
yeah.
something. I
So
don't.
yeah, before you
Yes.
terminal draw, just do self system refresh. Or refresh CPU. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, this one. Okay, I see there are all various ones.
Mhm.
That's the sad part about Copilot. It offered us the one function that didn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it should have existed, but it doesn't. Maybe it used to exist. I don't know. Refresh CPU. Oh, okay. Now it's at least changing.
Yep.
Okay, not much, but maybe if I take another window and start moving it around, it doesn't do much. Okay, I just on the other screen I try to make some noise. Okay, good.
So yeah, I have some ideas to make this look better. Right now, we just kind of copied the code from the docs. It's not looking great. So I have some tips for you. If you go
Okay,
to the draw function or like the place where we are creating the chart, can you go there real quick? Yeah, so line 77.
right.
Um, there you can, sorry, not there, but on the data set, line 66, you can change the marker. So symbols marker dot. If you change that to something else, let's do a braille symbol. Just remove dot.
Sorry, I was out of focus for a second, reading the chat. But okay, sorry. Good. Say
No,
again.
no worries. No worries. Just remove the dot variant. We're gonna change the variant to something else. Just braille B. Yeah, there you go. And graph type, let's do line.
Okay.
And one other thing, 100 milliseconds is not very smooth. Let's change 100 to 16 in the handle events function. You might be asking why 16, and the reason is 16 is usually just 60 FPS. Yeah, there you go. If you run it again, it should look better.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. And but it's not, is it moving out here? So, or what, or it's showing the whole thing all the time, right? Yeah, so
Mhm.
it doesn't, yeah, okay. Of course, because we are just collecting to the vector. We don't remove from the vector. We don't look at the slice of the vector, right? We just
Mhm.
look the whole vector.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can kind of tweak that by just taking the last 100 elements or something like that, but you get the idea. This is how it works.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, to make it even prettier, if you go
yeah.
to,
Just a second, just a second.
yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the draw function, you can actually scroll up a little bit. Let's go to, let me see the chart definition down, line
Yeah,
77 or something. Yeah,
yeah.
so you can actually attach blocks to widgets. So line 78, we are doing that. We are defining a block and attaching that to chart. But the block does not have any borders. So if you change block new to block bordered, you'll have a bordered area for the chart. So yeah, and remove the new,
Okay.
yeah. And instead of chart, let's just say CPU maybe.
And I also wanted to change this to top, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
all right. If you run it again, you'll see a block surrounding the chart.
Sorry. What do I see?
Now you have a block around the chart. Before you didn't have it.
The border?
Yeah, the border.
I didn't have it earlier. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So where did it disappear?
Uh, you didn't,
Because originally we had, I guess we removed it when we replaced
yeah,
here, where we have replaced it as the border with just a new here. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah, that's basically the whole flow. If you want to like add the memory, that's again a chart. The disks are a bar chart widget, and network is Sparkline widget. But like that's just the whole flow. So next time, if you want to like add some data, you go ahead
Mhm.
and update the abstract, and then you kind of define your widget and render it. And yeah, that's how it works. So let's not actually reiterate that if you want, and I can show you something new, or I can just take over right now if you want.
I,
Depends on what you want to do.
okay. I have one thing that I definitely would like to know, but let's read what's going on in the chat. Block and charts are all internal widgets of the library, correct? Is it possible to implement custom widgets by implementing a trait?
Mm-hmm. That's
The question.
possible. It's a good question. Actually, there was a new third-party widget for specifically for this purpose. Um, Came out just very recently. If you go to the link in the chat, you can also check it out. Yes, so yeah, you can like implement your own widgets, and you can just add the dependency to your app and use it as any widget. So yeah.
Nice. So I wanted to ask you one, I mean, one thing that I was playing around is having lists of texts. So like where I would like type in some text, it will search in some databases, let's say, and then show me some like a search, show me top 5, and then I can pick one of the answers, and then it will go
Mm-hmm.
do something else.
Yeah. So
Um,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the functionality that we will implement with the table, the processes actually. But
Mhm.
if you want, I can just take over now because we just like kind of past 1 hour. So
Okay.
I just
So
want to like fast forward a little bit.
okay. Go, sorry. Okay, I pushed it out now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give you. So, would you want just to share your screen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the idea. Okay.
Yeah. I can just show it to you what you have asked specifically. Let me just find the repo and clone it first. All
Okay.
right. Share screen. Desktop 1. All right. You see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So cloning that. So yeah, this is how it looks like on my computer. So you said a list of text and searching, right?
Yeah.
So let's create a table of processes and search in them.
Okay. Good.
All right. So for the processes, let me actually go to sysinfo because I don't remember how we do that, but it should be something easy. 1 second, I'm just checking something in my other screen. Maybe I have a snippet. Yeah. So it's basically processes call. This gives us some data. For the list, we need a table actually. So table, but table and list are just internally very similar. So it doesn't really matter here. So instead of the second, let's render it here in the bottom block. So it's the third one. I'm gonna actually create a new function here. Fan render processes. Should mute self frame. Yeah. Also, it should take an area. Yep, there you go. In here, let's actually create the data first. To do that, so let's do something like let's mute data, empty. Yeah, why not? So get processes, PID process. Why is it complaining? Yeah, that's why I don't like Copilot. It's just not great for these cases. The data is right now a vector. So for the table, we need to create some rows. as you can see from here. To do that, just row new with a vector and PID name. Let's just do that for now. Wait, why is it complaining? Mute frame.
Now, as I'm thinking, I don't understand why Copilot doesn't ask the internal the system. I mean, Visual Studio Code knows which functions can I call on a certain object, and it offered me something else. So I mean, it could ask as well and say, okay, well, this one is not correct because the internal system doesn't know about it. The introspection system.
Yeah, it's not great.
Strange. Because I played around with it today and it could figure out all kind of things about my code. So
For
anyway,
Ratatouille specifically, we realized it's actually using the description from the types to generate some code, and sometimes in some specific case the description was a bit wrong. That's why it was just generating the wrong code. So we kind of updated the documentation for the copilot.
yeah.
So yeah. So that's how we create a row and data push. So these are just the rows. And let's create a table. Wait, it's a bit weird, my workspaces. All right, let table, just table. So table takes rows and some widths. So the widths are just constraints again. It's basically, so now we're just saying uh, process ID should take 10%, but the 10% is not a good constraint. So let's do minimum of 10 characters or like maximum of 10 characters and just fill like min 0. So maximum 10 characters for the PID row or column. It's a column, and just take the rest for the rest. So yeah, and then you render it. So here we create a table. Let's bordered block. This header is basically the name of the row. Yeah, let me try it. Yeah, so processes, these are just the processes that we have. And it's not really updating right now because we're not calling the update method. Once again, let me just go here. Self system refresh processes. This takes a enum processes the update and remove that processes the update. Let's update everything and remove the dead ones. All right. They should update now. Is it updating?
I don't see changing.
Yeah. I don't know what's going wrong. Wait, let me run it again. Is it another call maybe? process. Oh, is it because I'm not sorting them? Okay, give me a second. Let me just sort them. Row new, collect. So rows sort by, actually, let's do CPU. CPU. Now we can sort. Yeah, we're sorting by CPU now. So you see that it's updating. It's not great though, because it's like updating every 60 milliseconds. So you can also like render the CPU here, but we are not doing that. CPU. You get the idea, right? You basically like add some data, render it, change constraints, define layouts, and so on. This is basically the flow. There you go. But this is too fast. So let me do something like this here. So if frame count. So every 60 frames, we update the, wait, this is wrong. Refresh CPU. Refresh, yeah. So every 60 frames, we update the CPU, but for each frame, we update the, sorry, for for every 60 frame, we update the processes, but for each frame, you update the CPU. So the processes should just be updated less frequently now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, now we have a table, and to add interactivity to the table, we need to define a table state. Because let's say we are running this, but we want to like select one of the items.
Commit it, please.
Sorry?
Could you just make a commit now?
Yeah, sure.
You won't be able to push it out because you're okay later on, whatever.
Just you can just add me to the repo now if you want.
Yeah, yeah, just a second. Okay, so just commit and I'll figure it out in the meantime.
Okay. Add processes.
Not that easy. I have to authenticate and whatnot.
I can send you a PR.
No, it's okay. I just did this, and
Which
what's
one do you
your name?
prefer?
No, what's your new username? What is your GitHub username? Orhun?
Can you show code again with the table? Yeah.
Okay. I sent you a
Sort function is not great, but like, sorry, I was not hearing. Sorry, were you saying something?
that I figured it out and I sent you a collaboration, whatever thingy on
Sorry,
GitHub.
my headphone died for a second, so sorry.
No problem. No problem.
All right. All right, pushed.
What did you do? I mean, first it gave you access deny and then,
GitHub is just slow, probably.
oh, okay.
But yeah, this sort is not great, but works. So yeah. All right. So let's add some interactivity to the table. Let's say you want to like select something, right? Or, you know, like highlight something here. To do that, you need to define a table state. This is once again from Ratatouille. The table state should be just default. Now to change the selected item in the table, you need to actually add a new key here. Say something like, yeah, exactly. So modifiers, just do that. So table state select next with select the next item. Similarly, select previous with select the previous item. And to attach that table state to the table widget, you need to change something in the render call. So now, since you have a state for the table, this is no longer a render widget, but a render stateful widget, because we want to give the state to the table. And to do that, basically, render stateful widget, you give the table area and whatever state you have, which is the table state. So now, if I rerun this and press some keys, you are actually selecting it, but you're not seeing it because we're not changing the style of the selected ones. So select it or highlight row highlight style. Let's do something like this. You can just basically give it a color too. So color red, for example. It's from Ratatouille style color. Would just make the selected one red in normal circumstances, but it's not working. Wait, what's going on? Let me actually change this to something else. Okay, to set not a style, but like a symbol maybe. It would be an easier way to debug this. Okay, it's not working. Give me a second. I gotta figure this out. Self
The
table
highlight
state.
means that that's the selected one. So
Yeah,
how does it know it?
exactly. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, understand that. Oh, okay. It's working
Yeah,
now.
so yeah, I'm now selecting the first one before I run the app. You can call table state select and just index. So then you're basically like highlighting it. But for some reason, the keys didn't work. Table state select next. Oh, J and Q. Okay. Yeah, I was just pressing one up and down instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. So now you can like select items in the table using table state.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna commit this too.
Nice. Very nice.
Oops. So for the other input, like the, text input and so on, what do we do? Well, you can use the cross-term calls, like the underlying cross-term library to handle the key events and render something like, you can just create a custom text input, but it's going to be a bit of a um, like you'll add some complexity to your app. So I would actually recommend using Tui text
I saw
area.
it pop things, like, for example, right? Or that's what you
Sorry.
mean? So I saw this, like, for example, a pop-up thing that like shows above the rest of the widgets
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah. So this Tui text area is basically what we're going to implement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is another Ratatouille widget. To add this to your app, let me go to the minimal example. Well, it's not found here. One sec. So cargo add Tui text area. Let me see if it's building. Okay. All right. So we can create a text area pretty much like this. And then we can just render it in some area. So let's decide where to render this thing. Any ideas? We want to like search, or what do we want to do here?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't think about this one. I had my own text and I wanted to search, but yeah, I wanted to search something and uh, like have some place where I can type in some text and
Mm-hmm.
enter, and then it will search.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, just the
Okay. So
inputting the text is already enough, I guess. The rest is
mhm.
the rest I guess we can figure it out. We just have the table have new list of values.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just thinking if we need Tui text area for this, to be honest, because it's a bit like an overkill. We don't need this much of text, right? Yeah, this search actually, something like this, a single line. So
Yeah,
okay,
that's
let's just do it. Let me go back to the minimal again. Let me render it after we render the table. I want to actually create a new function here. So render processes, render search, create a new text area. Is the way to make this one line. Set block. Oops. Self render search. Actually, it's better to call it here. Yeah. Third. All right, let me see what happens when we run this. Now we have a cursor here, which is not what we want. Let's do something like.
I mean, I thought that when you press a button, let's say S, then it pops up a window, no? Or you
Uh,
wanted to have it constantly there an empty text area.
So you need to handle when you want to type something and when when you finish typing and stuff like that. So what you said is something like a pop-up, and yeah, that also has a state, but I'm not sure. What are you asking exactly?
Yeah, that's what I thought about a pop-up, to having a pop-up. So let's say you press letter S, it
Mm-hmm.
shows you a pop-up widget like this one.
Mm-hmm.
You type in something, you press enter, and
Yeah,
that's.
okay. Yep, I see. Yeah, you can also do that, I think.
But I mean,
Yeah,
we don't have to do it now if it takes too long. We've already taken up a lot of your time.
that's fine. We can just like kind of show you how it's being done and just leave the rest to you, I guess. And okay, I want to actually render this on the bottom of this block. Or maybe let's just keep it simple here and render it here instead. Okay, so I'll just render it here for now, but you can just change it. So on this block, right?
Mhm.
To actually type in, you need to first, I think, have another state here. So usually what we recommend is having an enum for your app state. So app state and I don't know, normal search, I don't know, input and so on. So this is like a more idiomatic way of handling the application state. But for the sake of simplicity, let's just go ahead and do something like this here. So search boolean false. And I want to enable search when you press S. No, this is not correct. Yeah. All right. And when it's enabled, just render when it's enabled, right? Yeah. Self search. And when this is enabled, we want to redirect all the key presses to the text area so that we are actually typing. To do that, you're gonna go ahead and do something like if you're searching, um, update text area, right? But now we cannot update it because we don't have a state for it. We are defining the text array here, and we don't have access to it in other functions. So we're gonna do it something like this. Another state, text area, static, lifetime. And I'm gonna initialize it here. I'm basically making a part of the application. And then self text area. Here we say something like self text area input and key. So we are sending the key to text area. So let's try it out. When I press S, now there's a cursor there and I can type. Well, I cannot type Q because Q is quit. That's not great actually. Hold on. Yeah, but you got the idea. You can just press S, type something here, right? And then press something else, like enter. Well, now enter is just new line, but like you can just assign an action to enter. And then when you do that, you basically filter the list. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it works.
excellent.
I'm gonna actually make this a pop-up because you wanted a pop-up. Let's do that.
Well, wait a
I'm
second, just commit it now, okay?
okay, sure. Oops. Add search area. I'm gonna change the location of this. Now, render search third. So, yeah, let me see. All right. So when you press S, I want the search to appear in this box as a pop-up, right? That's the idea. To do that, you basically need to do something like this. This search area will occupy 3 lines. So search area. Let me actually create a new rectangle here. X, Y. Height is just 3. Okay, search area. I basically create a custom rectangle here. And when I run this again, you see that now we are rendering inside the area. But the thing is, it's still rendering the table. So it's not actually a pop-up right now. To do that, to like remove the other table area, like the background, you need to render a widget called clear. So render widget clear. This clears the background and then renders the text area. So now if you run this, you see that we have a pop-up and it disappears when I press S again. Yeah. That's how you can create pop-ups and Ratatouille.
And
Just
that
use the
frame,
clear.
that was the general frame that we had, or that was a separate frame?
Here, you mean? It's the same
Yeah,
frame.
in the code, I think you put it on the frame, and that was
Mhm.
the which frame is that?
It's the frame that we get from the draw call here. So everything is the same frame, basically.
Hmm. Okay.
So we get one frame
What
and
does
we
it
just
clear? How does it know with what part to clear?
because I create a new area here, you see,
Oh, and they
and
say you told the clear to clear the search area. I see.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm clearing the area, so it's empty. So let me just show it to you. If I remove the text area, you see, it's just clearing it and
Yeah.
nothing is there. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm on top of that, I'm rendering the input. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it works.
Okay. Nice. Very nice.
Add search as pop-up. And to actually search
It could
for it,
actually it could
sorry?
actually work even without the enter. I mean, as you type,
Mm-hmm.
it can update the text below it. Let's say, so we can see the table below it, except of
Yeah,
those 3 lines that it was hiding.
yeah. It's not very ergonomic right now, but just to show you the pop-up, that's how it works. And to filter the values, You
And
can
how
do
did you
some things.
how did you put? Can you show me the code where you put it in the top part of the lower frame? That's the X and the Y.
Yeah. So X, it's basically saying that push the area one one line further for X and Y. So it's like one line right and one bottom. So it's just like pushing it to the center a bit. And width is just like the complete area of it, -2. 2 because we
And
have two borders.
and the area is the lower whatever was. It's not
Yeah,
frame.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What are
That's the,
widgets?
sorry.
Yeah. So the whole thing is a frame, but the lower these blocks are called widgets. That's what you call them. The areas.
So the frame
So the
is,
third, you gave it the third, right? I see. I see.
yeah, it's the third area. I'm just passing the third area to this function. It's called area here. And
Mhm.
then creating a new area in there. You can also do something like area inner. So inner is also like um, adds a margin to the rectangle.
Mhm.
But I kind of like did that explicitly here. You can also do it here like that, and yeah, it also works with the inner function. But we're gonna rename those functions in the new release. So yeah, they're gonna be called area move by or resize by or something like that. So yeah,
Mhm.
so that's what we're doing. To get the text from the text area, you can do something like rows filter. Okay, let me actually get the text. Let text self text area get text. It's not get text. It was content or something. Yeah, I don't remember. It had a weird name. That method. I'm gonna find it now. String content text. Um, okay, I'm gonna find it here. Lines. Yeah, you can just call lines. And the first one, first unwrap, or yeah, just unwrap it. So this is a string now. So we get the first line from the text area, and we can just filter rows like this probably. Yep. Cell lowercase contains. Yeah, okay, let's try it. So I want to search for Neovim. Yeah, it works.
Very
Python.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's how you can get the text from the text area. Let me just commit this too. Um, implement actual search. I don't know. And yeah, is there anything else that you're wondering about
No,
any of this?
it's way more than I was expecting. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
cool.
way faster.
Yeah,
Well,
uh, yeah, I'm
did
gonna
you want
leave these. Sorry.
did you want to show anything else?
I can like fill these two blocks, but I just want to leave this to you. And if
Okay.
anybody's watching and want to work on this, go ahead and implement the memory and disk space. The disk stuff you can use Ratatui, this not disk, line gauge, this widget, and this is like, you know, the good one for that case. And if you're wondering which widgets are available, you just go to this link. It's just in the widgets module, and you can see that, you know, we don't have many widgets, but they just work well. So you can just like pick one. The Sparkline is good for the network tab. Let me just show it to you once again. The other application that I had. All right, so I gotta go to here. Yeah, so this is Sparkline. This is line gauge. This is once again a chart. This chart is using a different marker. That's why it's like a line here. And for adding these text, you basically need to use the attributes on the widgets. These are also just some attributes on the chart. For example, if you want to like add that text to it, you kind of like add it to the data set, I think. Or like, yeah, just dive into the documentation and you'll see that these little functions that allows you to customize how this looks. So just add those. For the colors, it's just like the color name. So for example, the style, you know, this is how you can create a style. And this is line gauge, like I said. The titles are just blocks title. And yeah, rest is just customizing how things look and adding a bit of a finesse to the TUI. And then, yeah, you got your stuff running now. Right now, it's not looking that impressive, but once you start to add colors and more like customizations, it will look better. You can use also the palette module that we already have here. This one has like 2 themes for now. So if you want to use the material theme, you can just like import this and use it in your app like this. Just, you know, colors from this palette. And that's what I did here. I used the Tailwind colors and just, you know, blue, red, yellow, whatever. And then you get a better looking interface. But like I said, it's not really just easy to make everything in just two hours, I think. So I'm just gonna leave it up to you. But yep, that's I think all I'm gonna show it to you. And I guess like take the code, play around, and let us know what you have built. So yeah, that's all.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. It was really excellent. Thank you for everyone else also who participated and asked questions and gave recommendations and suggestions, and everyone who watched the video. Now is the time to like the video, follow the channel, and I'll put the link below the video for all kind of things, especially for the stuff that Orhun does. You also have a YouTube channel, I think, right? Or somewhere.
Yeah.
So that too. And start writing applications with Ratatouille and start contributing.
Yep.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now I
Thanks,
just need to
everyone.
find the button because I made the screen different size. So thank you very much, and see you next time somewhere. Bye bye.
Bye.